Hello and welcome, everybody. I hope that you are all having a fantastic day at the time of this broadcast, which all of these are intended to be timeless. Today, at this physical time during this recording, this is literally August 8th of 2024, the 888 Lionsgate portals, exacting numerological sequence of insights and pressure cooker situations in our lives coming up for further review. So I sense that there are those individuals out there who are breaking through different situations, different long-standing ways of being or limiting circumstances and so on, pushing through their own limitations, previous limitations, graduating from all kinds of lessons, all kinds of patterns, really seeing through any types of addictions or attachment type behaviors. And then there are also those that are still pushing through. Now, since there's no time, let's not get caught up in any type of doubt or impatience or frustration to the best of our abilities. Trust the process. I did do a little bit of a pre-shuffle here. And let's go ahead and finish the intro. This is the Daily Dharma. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate all of you so very much. My name is Dina, and usually I really like getting the code cards out. We'll get those in just a moment, but in the pre-shuffles, I ended up bringing out some of my tarot decks that I hadn't seen in a while. I haven't laid those out, but I may want to get into those, or if I do an extended, I'll get those out in the next few days or so. The deck that I did pre-shuffle and some popped out was my mixed deck of Kali Kuan Yin cards, and we've only got one of the Kali cards, which seems to be quite prominent and intense, and then we've got four of the Kuan Yin cards showing their energy and messages. So the Kali cards are often intense, passionate, fierce. Even the gentle ones talk about the urge for ferocity and justice. But the Kuan Yin deck often talks about the subtle, the subtle undercurrents and the subconscious energies that are coming forward. So I think that the two work really well together. And today in particular, I want to start with showing the Kali card, 11, Durga Kalika. And I see that, I can't remember the name of it, but that sword thing in the background here, it's not a sword, it's like some kind of staff, is it? I see that dually as something that is depicted with Shiva as well as Poseidon, and the two are not really connected, but it's there in my psyche and in my vision symbol language for a reason. Poseidon represents the realms of the ocean, the collective unconscious, our emotional realms, and also the psychic, the astral, the flow, the ebb and flow of situations here on Earth. And also, if we think about how the moon and different elements govern the tides, we can kind of see how Poseidon is kind of the energy that is helping with the progression of our lives in that way, with the emotional upheavals and then the soothing, cleansing waters. I was also, while I was halting on those messages, I'm getting these images of Ursula the Sea Witch, and also now Sedna coming forward. If those storylines have anything that means something to you, go ahead and read that in. I'm not going to go through those right now. Shiva is the one who is known to have that lightning bolt from his third eye that creates enlightenment and some type of justice. Now, in this Durga Kalika card, we see the third eye on this skull with the missing tooth. So it's almost like we've been through the battles. We've been the phoenix who has perhaps had various deaths along our own personal development. And it seems to talk about our interconnectivity with the life after death, because the third eye is fully awakened and it actually has some like tears of blood, which is kind of gory, but that's the Kali deck. I hope you don't mind. Shiva is about the lightning bolt epiphanies coming through from the divine, however you define the divine. And lightning is an activator. It's something that we may have been hearing rumblings of for some time, and all of a sudden the lightning bolt strikes, and then things are illuminated for that brief second in the darkness, and we get to kind of have this eerie is the word that's coming through, this awareness and sight that isn't available in the dark as it is. So Durga Kalika, this card in the book, since I'm not up on all of the mythology behind this, I did go ahead and review that. Now Durga Kalika is like, Durga is this entity that's out there, goddess energy, taking care of this very evil uprising on the battlefield, who every time this evil being is wounded, every time there's a drop of blood that hits the battlefield, exponential evil beings spring up from that drop of blood. And so I guess the story is that the Durga births Kali from her third eye in this depiction, and then Kali goes out and takes care of all of the evil as it's birthed. So she's some type of a divine weapon here. And I do love sharing with you just a little bit about these. I should have kept it. Okay. It says that she's fierce divine justice and unyielding resolution in favor of the light. She's every method and all means necessary to ensure success for the soul. She is the unexpected victory arising at the very moment when all seems lost, transforming tragedy into triumph. She's our spiritual sun, our light, and our ever radiant reminder that from darkest night, a new dawn shall always arise. Dare to trust more in your faith than your fear. For every problem that can arise, there are many more divine solutions unfolding even now. So this is talking about faith and trust, that all things are helping behind the scenes, that even apparent evil is being dealt with, and that, as the Tao says, anything that becomes unbalanced begets or births its opposing influence, because this realm is one of contrabalance, duality, and it is. So where I want to go with that, looking at the Kuan Yin cards, I sense that there are two things here. The immortal treasures it always looks like an 11, but it's actually a 14 there. Talks about temperance. We have the 7 and the 13 and the 8 popping out. 8, of course, with the 888 portal, very connected. But with 7 and 14, that's double. And then the 13, 14 is a progression, if you're into numerology. And Immortal Treasures is talking to me about your beingness and that you have some sacred work to do here. And it seems that you're reflecting on this as we go back to the initial messages, that some people are already graduating, pushing through, and others are facing greater resistance than they thought. And this can be a bit discouraging, as we hear in the Durga Kalika. It's like, then in the midst of trying to assert in the trenches of the war, so to speak, it's like, yeah, we've got to win, we've got to win. Win-lose war is probably the bad depiction, but I'm talking about the inner struggles, whether it's apparent suffering or something that is your justice coming to fruition, being pressured to not only do the little things, but to keep encountering that resistance. It's like the resistance is the hardest, perhaps right before the finish line. It's like we're the most tired right before awakening, is kind of how that's coming through. And with the immortal treasures, is many of us are already aware that we are very, very important consciousness creators, co-creators here. We've got our gifts. We're adorned with them in this card, taking that moment to reflect, trying to do the right thing by everybody else and by ourselves. Moving through this spot is like, it's coming through as just another test, but that seems to really diminish what's going on here. So I'm not trying to make light of the process, but it seems like we're being challenged to really gain more assertiveness, if that's part of your story, or to gain more humble grace instead of aggressiveness, one or the other, because there are individuals watching this who are on all types of trajectories as far as their personal self-expression and the lessons that we're trying to learn. But there's something here about the self-belief in our gifts and the way that we navigate the other situations and challenges that we're facing right now in order to push through the finish line and to bring our gifts forward out into the world. This beautiful gift and divine weapon against all evil, so to speak. So the second card that I thought was the most important here is that Dynasty of the Divine Mother. This, I believe, is a depiction of a green Terra, which is, I believe, very earthly and maiden-like. And the way that this one was coming through was that right now, during this time and space, there is a great resurgence of the need to connect with both the divine feminine and the divine masculine. And many would say, well, the divine masculine has been in charge and they've kind of screwed it up. Look at all the patriarchy. But I would suggest that the patriarchy obviously isn't the divine masculine. That's the power hungry, materialistic, misdirected energy of the masculine, no longer providing, protecting, and sharing in kindness and understanding and wisdom, but capitalizing and pushing some down, lifting others up in hierarchy versus symbiotic synergy and cooperative essences, needing to come forward instead of the competition type frequency that's been indulged in. And the feminine, we can say that others have suppressed, but that energy is in everybody. And again, with the feminine, can also be seen as there's the divine aspect and then there's the lower aspect. You know, we can nurture, we can connect and express and emote, but we can also find ourselves falsely manipulating, falsely being victimized, martyred, or diminishing either the rights or the feelings or the achievements of others. And we've all been in all of these places. And I think that what we're awakening to in part is the incredible empowerment process that's underway here as we really understand how our ability to witness the divine ordering of the divine genders as well as the toxic supposed genders, and how we are navigating that and perceiving that with others is helping us to tap into quite an extensive amount of Akashic information, subconscious motivations, and thus we are really able to be more unto ourselves because we're understanding the order. It's showing me about stacking bricks and crisscrossing the bricks so that they're not all in a tower that kind of can fumble, but they're interlocked, overlapping. And so cycles that overlap, awareness that overlaps. And so getting back to these two cards, we've covered the immortal treasure part. I feel the dynasty of the divine mother to me feels like the push for the divine feminine to really awaken the masculine to their divinity, and vice versa, of course. And I'm not talking male female in this regard. I hope you follow and that you know this. There are always those who think that I'm speaking very directly on the mundane level, but the dynasty of the divine mother almost to me seems like the ferocity of our foremothers and forefathers that were connected to their inner receiving and nurturing essence. That there are those who wanted to rise up, there are those who were suppressed, those feelings within us and others that have been suppressed, that are longing for expression, longing to be heard and witnessed. And for others, there are also these situations where something is being pushed against. And there is this, of course, dramatically and quite literally in some people's lives, this is an actual aggressive, negative, lower vibrational influence or challenger or situation that has taken over in some way and gained some type of overshadowing upon our process. But it's about rising up in that Shiva Shakti connection. That Shakti rising is the uprising of the divine feminine that says, I've learned the lessons of self-worth. I've learned the lessons of connectivity and belonging and the way to use the portal of my heart and of my root and of my crown to birth new perspectives into this world exponentially. In answer to every drop of blood, I've connected with that. I can now move through that. I can now overcome the issues of either Akashic collective suppression and the need to rise up, as well as our ancestral and our subjective personal struggles and battles. And so the dynasty of the divine mother is talking about something that we've been working through for so long. And here we have drink from the emerald fountain. She's got several hands here. So it's talking about our ability to process and to achieve and accomplish things that seemed beyond ourselves with our alignment to the forces that seem beyond us. It's like connected to that subconscious realm. We can also help others to witness their own process and to see within themselves. And it's like you're drinking from Raphael's cup in a way with that emerald fountain. I often think of Raphael in that way. So the emerald fountain being the fountain of the heart space, the collective love, and the urge to be divinely inspired and to bring forth a heart-based reality. Underneath the deck, we have the final card here, 13. Here, the yellow tiger mother. Yesterday, I think we had 3 13s popping out. So the yellow tiger mother being number 13. 13 to me is the number of death and integration, not necessarily physical death, but it could be. We've got 2 cards here, by the way, that are talking about mother. But the yellow tiger mother is almost like the breath of the feminine Shakti energy speaking through the generational lines and through even cultural heritage and earthly heritage, all beings, all even rocks and minerals and elementals, gathering courage and strength and unity through the root and building and building and building for us, tapped into our treasure here of the emerald fountain, drinking from the heart space of the great mother, the mother earth, and trusting in that guidance to rise up. And the yellow is very much about the solar plexus and the ability to tap into our creative ability to use our will to affect great change, to advocate for ourselves, to be courageous and confident and individualized in such a way that doesn't necessarily conflict or cause bad waves, bad, good, subjectiveness, right? It doesn't feed the duality, but it brings up the courage to celebrate the diversity. That's kind of where I'm going with this. And secondarily, this yellow tiger mother to me is talking about the golden light codes that are incoming at this time, at this Lionsgate portal, in great, great frequency, really kind of pounding us. Yesterday we did get that underneath card was also about the phases, 22 here, of the moon and the uprising of the energy, ebb and flow, as well as it was talking about the cosmic wave, riding the cosmic waves that are incoming right now. Something is being awakened and healed. We've got fertility and healing popping out here, talking about our growth cycle and our ability to heal self and earth. It's like there's something pushing us that we need to have faith that we are on the right path, that we need to keep persevering in some way. Universal love. I knew we were going to see that one below that. Empowerment. Yes. Empowering the universal love, empowering the yellow tiger mother. Yellow tiger mother often for me talks about the angry feminine, which some people might be triggered by that use of that word, but it's like the ferocity that comes forward and exacts justice when it's necessary. It's like when we, well, let's take something completely fictitious in the moment. Like if you are walking around and you having a great day and all of a sudden you come across somebody kicking a puppy, what are you going to do? Have a nice day and walk on? No. I mean, most of us would do something. And that's, I feel like there's some type of situation, whether it's insulting or diminishing or toxic, fill in the blank with what you're facing or dealing with, or some type of even worldly issue that you're compelled to rise up and to give voice to your values and to the voice of the divine feminine. It's like, hear her telling you that this kicking puppies or somebody kicking your inner puppy, not okay. And the divine mother wants to say, oh, hell no. We're going to take back this. The waterfall. Yeah, it's like this 6 of forces, 6 of wands is accomplishment. It's rising above. It's the parade of the soldiers after war. It comes at great expense. You know, there are those that lost huge on so many levels, literal deaths and so on in the suffering process. This broken tooth out of the skull. It's like, yeah, we've been through the ringer here, but now it's like we are listening to something very primal uprising within us. It's primal and it's divine mixed together at the fulcrum, the heart space, and that portal is wide open and it just wants to wail or to say something. And if we're sitting here trying not to hurt individuals, that's also noble. But it's like with that, every drop of blood that we've had to cut someone on the battlefield with, it remains with us in our heart. It feels, and that divine outpouring of the waterfall is like our ability to process that and to forgive our trespasses as we forgive those that have trespassed against us. Reflection underneath here, number 19. Let's get a couple more shuffles and see what wants to come out. Yeah, reflecting upon the battlegrounds of life, those situations we've faced with family, friends, lovers, our internal battle, our spiritual development, all of this and more. And it's really getting us back into our full light capacity, I feel, moving us into this graduation phase. I really want to get more cards, but all right, let's get these two here. The Muse and Queen of Roses. Yeah, there's something very emotional going on. 15 is about, it's like that Pied Piper. It could be something positive. It could be something negative for others. It's like, what is amusing to us? What are we being diverted by or distracted by or inspired by? And being conscious and in our integrity with the who is our Pied Piper, or are we going to be the Pied Piper? Are we going to lead the evil rats out of the city? Or are we, leading folks or following folks into something that we don't want, such as like a World War III or something, in our lives or on the world stage? And here we have Queen of Roses in her reflective pose, really wide open heart, ready and calling into greater love. Underneath, we've got 7 of Forces balanced. So 6 and 7 of Forces showing themselves here. And below, I see the 3 of Forces trying to pop out. But so balance, karmic balance coming back in. Let's get a couple more here off the top. Let's go for 3. So what else are we balancing? Interesting. Okay. Yeah, this makes a lot of sense. So wishes fulfilled. This is that immortal treasures, however you view it, your time and place here, your calling, gaining abundance, having an abundance mindset and being grateful and fulfilled versus having a situation that feels depleted or that somebody's stealing from you energetically or physically or from your character. It can be anything for us. But then we have 4 of Roses, views of the ego. Somebody here, we could see our own ego here as we're talking about these layers and when our own transgressions have come to the surface. I think that we're assessing other individuals and their consciousness, unconsciousness, their ego and their efforts and their spectrum of expression, and we're able to really see them through their own view of self, like how they present themselves, and then we can watch that and really delve into the self, and we can witness how that individual does or does not complement or fit into our wish fulfillment, and not make a big story out of it, but push through into our emotional fulfillment. So here we have another 14, interestingly, with the initiation and the count of and the Count Saint Germain. Count Saint Germain, again, is the alchemist that transmutes lower vibrational situations into higher form. And this is an initiation that you're going through this emotional uprising and integration phase, through your assessment of subconscious and Akashic heritage, empowering your own awareness to harness this. This is your initiation into the next level of your journey as a divine alchemist. And so you're being told that you're being supported from the other realms, as well as you are a person, entity who is doing this in the collective with individuals unbeknownst to you and consciously. So trust that process. We are at the end of the reading here. I'm going to try to squeeze out a couple more oracle cards for a little bit more guidance here. Connect to source, number 47. Go within to discover what needs to be done. Create the shift required to attract what you want with that wish is fulfilled. And polite declaration. You've got to speak it into being consistently and not let others steamroll you if that's something that's been happening here. You can move in whatever direction you need to accomplish your goals. It's time for you to get out there, claim what's yours, and stay in your power. Empowerment here. 12, replacing what was lost at 3131. Look at that star. Yeah, aim for the stars. Your wishes are being brought to you. You now have the opportunity to rejuvenate and start anew. Create with a new perspective or outlook. This card may also indicate abundance is on the horizon. So don't stop 10 centimeters from the finish line. This is really coming for us, and we are being really helped and supported and pushed gently to continue to be in our integrity, to trust, and to be a voice of the light and the love that we know is our birthright and our destiny. So much love to all of you guys. Much gratitude as usual. And if you feel called, please do consider hitting some of those buttons on the screen and subscribe, hit that notification bell. Those are all free ways to support the messages in the channel and to get the messages out to those who need it. So otherwise, love you guys so much. And until next time, happy Lionsgate.